With that down, let's move on to main topic number 1. And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Mike, who writes, "Hey, John, Kathleen Kennedy has confirmed that Indiana Jones 5 will not be a reboot. So Harrison Ford will be returning. Does this surprise you? And do you think this movie will actually happen? Thanks." All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, Mike. And yes, at the recent BAFTA Awards where Kathleen Kennedy was given like their highest honor at that thing, she was asked about Indiana Jones. And she said the following. This is the statement she made about Indiana Jones 5. "We're working away, getting the script where we want it to be, and then we'll be ready to go. Harrison Ford will be involved. Yeah, it's not a reboot. It's a continuation." Okay, so there's a couple of things here in this statement that are kind of interesting and kind of no duh. Knowing that Harrison Ford has always been involved in this project, he's always been involved in this project from day one. Knowing that he has always been involved in this project, Rob, we've known this isn't a reboot. I mean, we've known that for a long time. That really hasn't been a question. Now, all the delays that we've seen from this movie over and over and over again, we just recently talked about their latest delay a couple of months ago. That has raised the question about whether this thing is going to happen at all, and that's still a question regardless of what she just said. That's still a question. But the question has never been really, since knowing that he's involved, that it was going to be a reboot. So that's fine. We know it's not going to be a reboot. Great, fine. Although I am also completely fine with the idea of rebooting Indiana Jones at this point. But we'll see how this all goes. To me, though, Rob, like I just said, the big question remains, is this thing even going to happen at all? And right. I'm not at the point, I've mentioned this before, I'm not personally at the point where I'm saying it's not going to happen, but I am at the point of I'll believe it when I see it. Like, this thing was supposed to be in production already. Right now, there's still no solid plans. They're saying how you don't have a script to where you want it to be when you've allegedly been working on it for 4 years. I don't know what to say. If you can't get your script to where you want it to be in 4 years, I simply don't know what to tell you at that point. So they seem to keep holding on to this saying, Harrison looks great for his age, man. He looks amazing. But the fact of the matter is he ain't getting any younger. So I don't know. I'm just at a place. I believe that it's not going to be a reboot, but I'm still at a place that I'll believe it when I see it. Rob, you're hearing these comments and you're hearing them saying we're still working on it. Harrison's still involved. Number one, did you ever consider or think that this project that they've been talking about for years was going to be a reboot? And then secondly, where's your confidence level right now that they're actually going to make this movie and this movie will actually see a movie theater screen?
Well, I mean, as I watch a show like Picard run its course with a 79-year-old, or in character, he's 97, I have no problem seeing Harrison Ford come back as Indiana Jones. And as long as the script is better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which isn't too hard, the real question that I have is George Lucas involved? Is Steven Spielberg involved? I can't imagine, regardless of what you thought of Last Crusade, most people really enjoy. I am a big fan of the Indiana Jones franchise. I think Raiders of the Lost Ark is a near perfect movie. I really loved Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade I have problems with, but it's still monumentally enjoyable. And I would love to see this film go out on a grand note. Now that sort of Indiana Jones has become his father, it's become Henry Jones. I hope it gets made. I would love to see it get made. I think obviously Frank Marshall, Kathleen Kennedy's husband, has a link to this franchise all the way back to Raiders. I mean, he was in Raiders. And I would love to see this really done right. Again, to bring it up again, love to see the Creed of the Indiana Jones movies. A movie that really goes out. I mean, I guess they would have to set it in the 60s, wouldn't they? And I think that would be really an interesting period of time to set this movie in. I mean, I keep going back. You and I are big fans of Guy Ritchie's The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I would love to see an Indiana Jones movie with sort of a swinging London in the 60s, not the way Austin Powers did it, but, like an early Bond vibe, which I think could be very, very cool. I don't know what artifact that they would go after, But I would, dude, if it was good, I just hope that John Williams will score it. God bless him. I hope he's still here, because again, I can't imagine an Indiana Jones movie without John Williams scoring it. I want him to make it if it,
I shouldn't be surprised that the Indiana Jones film that you have the most trouble with is actually my favorite Indiana Jones movie. Last Crusade is my favorite of the Indiana Jones movies. I love all of them save the Crystal Skull. I'm kind of unpopular in the sense that this is how I feel about the Crystal Skull. I think if that wasn't an Indiana Jones movie, it's a perfectly serviceable little adventure film.
Right.
But it's not a serviceable Indiana Jones film. That's kind of my feeling of it. But I think it's a perfectly serviceable look. And whatever artifact they're going after, as long as it's not an alien artifact, I'm perfectly good. As long as it's not an alien artifact, I'm perfectly good. So the question comes down for you guys. What do you think about this? Did any of you think there was a possibility they may reboot this? I think they will eventually, but not for this project. But the bigger question really is, not is this going to be a reboot? I think we all knew that it wasn't. Is it even going to happen? And I'm kind of in the middle of the road on that right now. How do you guys feel about it? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.